Filipino tradition and values. Go, Ma'am Sarah. Stand up. Come on. Do it. Alright, let's advance for group number 1. They are ready. At the next time, they are ready. Go.
Okay, lights, camera, action. It's Christmas time. Nina, Merry Christmas po.
God bless you, inaanak.
That's fun.
Alright. So given during Christmas, we have our Ninong and Nina. That's something that I am now deprived of. Alright, group number 2. Group number 2. Oh, wait a minute. Let's try to observe. Alright, can you count? I'll be giving you. I will be giving you 4, 4, 4, and 3. So it's a matter of, you got 15 more. So congratulations. Let's move on to your number 2. Guys, audience response is needed. Kisera si Lola.
I think I did my lunch here. Okay, okay, you're gonna take your medicine. I forgot that it's English. Okay, don't worry, Lola. I think it's okay. You're right. What do you want?
So what value is that? Respect for? Oh, very good. Alright, so in that sense, I will be giving you the perfect score. Congratulations, you have the 16 score. Last one. Last one.
Oh, my love.
Our task now is to pass it on to our children, right? These are the things that are, as we said, tradition and values that we do not want to lose over time. Alright? Now I hope now you are familiar with you are greatly familiarized with the African and Asian tradition and values. Am I right? Yes. Alright, so that's a wrap up, everybody. So for your assignment, what you'll do is your call out. What will you do with the call out is to post that on any of your social network accounts like Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, etc. Alright? So that's your assignment. This is Mr. Alexis Gloria. Thank you for listening. Goodbye, please.
Okay, let's start with the appreciation of, just like my introduction this morning, we will be appreciating the presentation of our classmates today. No? So let's start with the appreciation of what Alexis and his group mates were able to put for us, to put together, no, for all of us in looking at understanding part of the TG or lesson 2 of quarter 1. Okay, looking at it, I know that you will agree with me that we start with an activity which is not found in the TG.
Yes.
Right? So it's not found in the TG. May we ask the intention of the group as to why you started with something that is outside the TG? What's the intention?
Alright, actually I was about to somehow conceptualize the first one. Would you agree with me? Well, my intention is that well, I'm actually trying to connect. The problem is that at the onset, I was not really confident with the start. Actually, it was designed to be just a short.
What's the start?
The song.
He's talking about the start. I mean the beginning of the TG, the first activity.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? He's saying that he's not confident with the first activity in the TG. Is that it?
Not confident in the sense that I cannot start
doesn't-
that certain activity.
So you feel like we have to start somewhere, not there. Okay, that's a good assessment of the TG, no? That's what we would like you to, the way you should approach your TG, no? Now, you have to converse with it. You may agree or disagree with it. Because remember, activities are negotiable. Yes. Right? Because in this aspect, you may somehow, sabi nga natin, diba, augment, or you may, you may not actually skip if it is vital, if it is very significant. No? But the way he believed that he will be more effective if he will be starting with a different activity. Right? With a different activity. But then siguro the decision has to be very smart. Okay? The decision has to be very smart. Starting with the song of Lea Navarro, which is actually I appreciated it more when he started identifying or matching the country with the language, and then he identified Japan and China, and then he started with that. Right? But it took him a long while before he was able to take us to where he really would like us to be. No? So medyo napahaba yung part na yun. That's why he ate 1.5 hours. No? Isang oras at kalahati siya nagturo eh. More or less, hindi talaga matatapos. No? So that's one problem. We got so excited with the first activity. Remember, the activity 1 is it's more or less the introduction part. It's the introductory part. But then, of course, the next activity, the inference evidence chart. No? I also like the idea that someone made mention about, because his question was general, but I know that the intention of the question is to ask you about what you realized about the cultures and traditions of the many countries which were mentioned, right? But then someone from the class made mention about the value of inference and evidence chart. Hope that your students will also be able to appreciate, no, the engagements that happen. Because that's very language. Because we are now utilizing here not just a chart but is a process skill. Because inferencing is a high skill. And that is one of our jobs in language development, right? Sabi nga natin, why is it that in language teaching, a lot of thinking skills really are required, no, for us to instill. Diba? But of course, may mga scientific thinking skills which are expected to be learned in the other subjects, right? Never, but I like that, no? Only, siguro hindi siya masyadong na-highlight, right? But that's okay. But please do hope, no? Do hope that one of the answers of your students will be pertaining to the kind of activity that you gave. And it's actually a good observation, no? That for them to validate the correctness of their inference, they need to have evidence. Right? Not all students will think that way. Basta ang gagawin lang nila kung yung pinapagawa mo. So defeated yung purpose, defeated yung activity. Right? That's one thing we need you to think, no? Of the value of the activity should also be appreciated by the students. But of course, it's a good thing that these people already internalize or also internalize the values of the lessons, no? Even though Alexis was fast, because I know he's trying to beat the time, probably because the activities were too many, right? And then there was the inclusion of the jingle, which was not actually part of the plan, right? But then I saw that as differentiation, because he said, a part of the group may work on jingle, and then the other members may work on the chart, right? But then it's on the decision of the group. No? So, ano yun? Probably it will pertain to interests, right? You're now differentiating, or you differentiated the task according to interest probably, but within the group. The sad part is, it was not really planned, right? So there's a possibility that within the group, walang may musical intelligence. Baka may ganung pagkakataon, diba? Kasi biglang naisip lang ni teacher. Oftentimes it's helpful, diba? But there are times, and sometimes these very few times are the significant ones, no? Kaya nadidefeat yung differentiation. And sometimes, na-divert yung attention, right? And in the first place, the jingle was not processed, right? But, kasi it's a performance task, right? It's another big performance task. So probably the intention of the teacher there was to somehow make it a fun-filled presentation, no? So there's no rubric for that. But it might be misinterpreted by the children that they will be allotting more effort on the jingle development rather than the inference evidence chart. Right? So baka magkamali, baka mabaliktad yung ano ng estudyante, yung focus, correct, thank you. No? Yun lang naman yung part na yun. But when it comes to your decisions as to which to match with the many activities which are available in the TG, I think it was a smart decision, no? It was a smart decision. And then, the analysis was good because you're so lucky because you have teachers with you. So, in the remaining 30% of the session, he got so carried away that he forgot you are grade 8 students. Right? Yun yung medyo nakalimutan carried away siya. He forgot that you are grade 8 students, no? Because he already switched his mode, you know, in addressing you. He's now addressing you as ma'am, sir, no? And then there are some touch of humor, no, which are not for grading anymore, but for teachers like you, right? And then, yes. And also, and even you forgot. Yes, students, no, you forgot. And also, we have to be sensitive with the way we correct our students, right? Because, or I just presume that he knew his students so well that it's okay. That's how I presume it. Okay? Because there might be some opportunities now we are correcting, but then the effect to the student is he is or she is being ridiculed or yes, no. So we have to somehow be careful with that. Okay, but probably this is the 5th day, that's why Alexis know that you are okay, no? So na-forgot yung element na kayo ay grade 8 students, no? And the sked, if now I will throw this question to Alexis, since you have consumed 1.5, no? So 90 minutes in all, kung titignan natin, which activity will be sacrificed, Alexis?
Probably the beginning. So I will be somehow trimming down the beginning. Why? Actually, originally it was, as I was saying, it was originally from Pakanchur. Just that I don't want to start there. So instead of thinking of instead of trimming down, I believe that the facts in the questions of the Pakanchur are necessary. So I don't want to sacrifice that. So instead of starting with the traditional values at once, I thought of another way. Probably that part is something that I would be sacrificing.
Okay.
But I will be somehow reflecting.
Though it's an effective beginning. And I think that will be a smart choice also. No? Because if you will look again at activity 15 ba yun? Activity 14, yung true or false. Kasi that's the first activity, right? The true or false activity. You cannot sacrifice that because it already is delivering the content eh. It's already delivering the content. So the reason why he probably have or decided to have the song, it's because it was utilized as a springboard. Yes. Right? It's utilized as a springboard or a motivational tool. The true or false is not a motivational tool. It's because embedded within it is the subject matter already. And at the same time, he is trying to determine the prior knowledge, right? Kasi it's short concept. But in an activity like that, kasi ang ini-utilize natin ay a game show, right? Kasi that's actually nice, no? There are some teachers na magtataas lang ng kamay. That's where the creativity comes in eh. Hindi naman nakalagay doon, di ba, na you think of a game show and then it's short false, right? But it could be a mere what? Total, kasi that's very total physical response, right? But then in some cases, the TPR or the teacher might somehow ask a pen and paper. Right? A pen and paper and then they will just write true, false, false. Right? Yeah, so I hope that the teacher will be, feeling the pulse of the students. I'm not saying that the 1/4 and the pen and paper or the true or false pen and paper quiz as elicitation of prior knowledge is boring. No, we are not to categorize that as such because it will depend on the style of your learners. Probably they love that more. Yes. Diba? Kasi yung iba, baka ayaw nila nakikipag-itgitan. Diba? But in this case, in this class, it was effective. Kaya lang iba nagdadaya lang. Diba? Yes. Probably because, but actually, mabilis din siya eh. Mabilis siya. No? Kasi, the teacher already knows, no? Kung sino yung, with the number kasi eh, with the number, no? Sino yung mga kauna-unahang umupo? Alin yung mas madami? Yung umupo yung natira? Yung umupo. From there, you already know where to begin. Because almost half of the class are not aware of the basic traditions. No? Ay siguro, napataon lang yung unang tanong. Pero very simple yung first question. Okay? So parang very common yung, kaya lang for a grade 8, expect that mas maraming uupo. No? But then we will go back to the discarte of the students eh. No? Some students will just be looking at the valedictorian. Diba? So how do we... It's a good thing that Alexis provided a backup. Because for every true or for every false, he has an explanation which the TG did not provide. Right? That's, yes, there is no... There is an answer key, but there is no explanation. Right? So may answer key. Kaya yung sagot ko kanina, talagang alam mo yun. Kasi hindi mo pala alam na may answer key. So kumbaga, that's a good no? I hope that you saw that in the demonstration. The effort of the teacher to validate. No? To validate. Kaya lang, merong isang part doon na parang mali yung support. I don't know, baka